the Joel Shit Show, featuring Joel Shit. Hi, welcome to the Joel Shit Show. I'm your host, Joel Shit. When I turn my camera on, it tells me how long of a movie I can do before the memory card's full, and it says 102 minutes and 6 seconds, because that's what 8 gigs is in terms of movie length, in terms of this resolution. So, now when I turn my camera on, it says 102 minutes and 3 seconds, and I was like, why is it off? Well, it's because I have 2 pictures on my camera, because when I went to the Boise State, Nevada game a week and a half ago, I had some pictures taken of me on the field, and I have not done anything with them yet, so they're still on my camera. Eventually they'll go on Facebook. Just haven't got around to it yet. I've been a busy little bee. Not a Samantha bee. Oh, thanks for everything, you were great. So, yesterday I did my Yahoo shift, and then I went to the dentist, and I studied for the dentist, and the way you study for the dentist is you brush your teeth before you go. That's last-minute cramming. That's the equivalent of staying up all night and trying to read the entire book. It always seemed like it was going to work this time, and it never did. But I went to the dentist, everything was fine, and a good time was had by all. I was the last patient of the day, and I've never seen the dentist work so quickly before, because she knew as soon as she was done with me, she was out that door, off to the club, or whatever the hell it is that Dr. Nguyen does. And so, but she did a good job. She was a little sloppy. I was there after someone else got there, so maybe I was the sloppy second, I don't know. But you always wear that little bib, and then the assistant's there, and she's got the thing spraying water in one hand, and then she's got the vacuum thing in the other hand, the two that sucks the water up. See, in the old days, you had to spit into a sink, and Bill Cosby has a whole routine of it in Bill Cosby himself, where he talks about the long line of spit from the lip to the sink, and how the dentist tries to have a conversation with you, and then he gets to do the Fat Albert voice. Not Fat Albert, but the guy who I'll be talking be like, it'll be this, would be that guy. So he got to do that. So, at any rate, ooh, I just saw something. My neighbor puts a key under the mat to get into the house. So if you ever want to break into my neighbor's house, just look under his welcome mat. Oh, I wish I had cut that on tape. Everyone upstairs has a wreath this year, so I decided that I would get a fish stocking that says meow 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 on it, and it has a cat's face. So that's what's on our door. So see, we're all even. At any rate, so you wear that bib, and they're spraying the water, and she's like totally missing the mouth. Like if she were doing like money shots in like a pornographic film, it would be like all over her face, which I guess actually is, I don't know, is that the way it's supposed to work, or is that just the way it usually ends up? I don't know. I'm not into cum shots myself. But, so I had water all over, and so they had to wipe me up. It was great. I felt like an invalid. But I won. I got a toothbrush, which is going straight to the toy donation at Christmas. No, I'm not donating a toothbrush for my Christmas donation. But when you do buy a toy, you're supposed to attach a toothbrush to it to show the kid, you get a free toy, but you got to brush your teeth too, right? So that's what that's all about. At any rate, after that, I went to Almaden Auto Repair to pick up my car. Hello, car. It's good to see you again. It was finally done, but they did not turn off the change oil soon light still, so I had them do that. And I had to wait like 20 minutes to get my paperwork so I could leave, but I showed up half an hour early, so it all worked out. And then I had to go to the post office because I sold some, I had these 23 by 3 inch decals. They're plastic. They go on the back of your car, and it says like Oakland Raiders or San Francisco 49ers or Blowjobs are awesome or whatever, right? So this guy in the UK bought 5 of them. Well, I can't print first class mail international shipping labels on eBay still. You just can't do it. So I had to go to the post office to fill out a customs form and stand in line. So at Oak Ridge Mall, the post office line is about, I don't know, 8 or 9 people. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting, and my girlfriend texts me and she goes, actually she called me, and she goes, I want to get a burrito. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll be home in half an hour. 45 minutes later, I was home. The line was pretty long. And everyone behind me in line's like complaining about how slow the post office is, and I'm like, you're a tea partier, aren't you? Don't you understand that you're the reason why government services suck so much? Sure, it's easy to blame the worker and how crappy the worker is and how disenfranchised and low morale. Maybe because their jobs are always getting cut. And they don't get any kind of retirement except a small pension. And they make less money than a comparable job in the private sector does. Maybe that has something to do with it. No, let's just cut services more. God forbid we pay more in taxes. God, I hope all the tax cuts expire. It would be nice to expire them only for the rich, but come on, let's just expire all the tax cuts. What the hell? Because if you look at the Bush tax cuts, the money that the lower and middle class saved was countered by other things the government did, so it cost them more. I'm talking about getting rid of rebates for making your house more energy efficient, things that save you money. So it's incremental stuff. Like my gas and electric bill for this palatial palace is like $40 a month, right? If I had a place that didn't have the awesome windows or no draft below the doors and like the energy saving blinds, my bill would probably be $80 a month. So that's $40 a month I save, right? Plus whatever tax credits. So what they did was they said, we're going to cut your taxes, but now you can't do this anymore. So guess what? They actually ended up spending more money because they couldn't save money on these other energy saving things. So there you have it. And of course, if cutting taxes increases tax revenue, and if cutting taxes makes more jobs, then where are all the jobs that were created in the 2000s, and where's all that extra tax revenue during the 2000s? It just doesn't work that way. If you cut a piece of pie into 16 slices instead of 12, you don't have more pie. You just have more pieces of pie. That's not how the multiplier effect works. But, you know, economics is hard. It's math, but it's disguised math. So you're like, oh, this isn't that hard to understand. There's no math. Sure are a lot of numbers, though, and adding and subtracting. Oh, but it's not math, it's economics. And then that's why people don't do well in economics class, because they don't do well at math. But they just think, oh, economics sucks. It's all liberal stuff anyway. So there you go. So then after all of that, I went home, and my girlfriend and I walked to El Pique Taqueria. Or Pique, P-I-Q-U-E. Pique. Taqueria El Pique. And, they don't give you a basket of chips because they keep it real. They grill the tortilla first. They put a thing of salsa out that you put in your burrito. And it was pretty good. She wanted carne asada. They didn't have carne asada. They just had asada. So what that means is when you go to a restaurant and it says carne asada, that is steak. It means you get steak, cooked asada. Well, if it just says asada, it's not steak. It's ground beef. Less expensive. It's like getting a beef taco instead of a steak taco. So her burrito had ground beef in it instead of steak. But that's why it was only $6.50. $5.50, $4.50, $4.50, $4.50 for the burrito. Pretty good price, really. The horchata was pretty good. It was a little cold, but it was pretty good. So for like 16 or 17 bucks, we were out of there. And what a romantic dinner. And then we got to walk home. I love the fact that I can walk to like 20 different restaurants. It really is location, location, location when you're looking for a place to live. So then after all of that, dropped her ass off, went to hockey. In the first game, I was a sub on the black team, and we were playing against the first place yellow team. Flying Carpets versus Desert Rats. Well, we won 7-4. There were only 8 skaters. I was on the ice a lot, but despite winning 7-4, well, I was a +1. I had nothing else on the score sheet. It's hard to be on the ice for that many goals and not figure in the scoring at all, but don't put it past me. I just was never in the play. Had a lot of shots on goal. I must have had 9 shots on goal last night, and just none of them went in. Lots. It's very frustrating. But we beat the yellow team, which means that when my game was next, if we could beat the white team, we would move into 3rd place, and we would only be 3 points out. Very, very, very tight standings. It's like the NFC West in the National Football League this season. So, our game starts, we get a 1-0 lead, and they tie it. So, then it was 1-0 after 1. After 2 periods, it was 2-1, because they tied it, and then we took the lead. Then, with less than 2.5 minutes to go, they tie the score. Goes in overtime, nobody scores, it's a 2-2 tie. And yeah, that was a very evenly matched game. We totally could have won that game, but we totally could have lost that game. I mean, it was really just, it was very back and forth. So I was a +1 in that game too. So for the night, I was a +2, but that was it. And I pretty much played every position. The first goal in the first game we gave up was my fault because I shielded the goalie. I'm in front of the guy with the puck, and he shoots it between my legs. Now, what do you do when the guy in front of you shoots? You make like a nutcracker, even if it's not Christmas season. And you get straight up and down, so that way the goalie can see around you, and if the puck is hit right at you, you block the puck. Didn't do it. However, I had a lot of good defensive plays otherwise. I played pretty well, actually, but, you know, stats do not directly correlate to how well you played. So, and then I drove home. I went to bed. It was all very exciting. That's all the time we have today. Visit us on the web at joelshitshow.com. Email joel@joelshitshow.com.